Thanks for staying with us. Tax is a powerful tool for development in most developed countries, but here in Nigeria, the goal is still far-fetched. As so, many Nigerians still regard payment of tax as a thing of choice rather than a compulsory contribution to the revenue of the state in aiding development. Joining us on the show is a tax expert and social commentator, Rasheed Olu-Ajayi. To join the conversation, call us on 081-270-53687 or 091-390-67948. Tweet to us, we'd love to hear from you. So, tax and death. They say there are two things you cannot avoid in developed countries. But in Nigeria, many people have managed to escape.
Evade.
They manage successfully. They have become good professionals to evade the tax. And then they still have the mouth to complain about lack of development. Please, Mr. Rasheed, can you start with the fundamentals of why we as a country haven't been able to successfully implement taxation across board, from both the structured employment and largely the entrepreneurs who fall within the cracks?
Yes, good morning, viewers. Thank you. Thank you, Temitope. The challenge we have in Nigeria is mostly because we don't have that paying culture. And most importantly, there's lack of data for us to be able to track individuals. You know, in foreign countries where there are provisions of data, where a government would know the amount of residents in a particular geolocation and have, you know, an identity for doing so. But here in Nigeria, as you can tell now, Nigeria is just going through having a national identity for individuals in the country. So because of that lack of provision of data, it makes it easy for people to evade taxes and not paying taxes. So that's why it's really been difficult to manage taxes in this part of the world.
Okay, let me ask you, sir, what are some of the entitlements that a taxpayer should have that would encourage them to pay tax? What should I look forward to? Well,
ideally, there shouldn't be any benefits to individuals. It is a civic responsibility, and we must be able to do that. However, with good governance, you should expect to get good security. You should expect to get good health care system. You should expect to get good roads. You should expect to know that at least there's provisions for employment, and that all the schools, you know, there's free education and those sort of, you know, social amenities that a country should have. So these are the sort of benefits that people get when they pay taxes. Purely physical infrastructure development in the country is one of those things as well.
So recently I've been trying to sort out my taxes, and I've hit a lot of you know, points that I almost gave up. How easy is it to, you know, to calculate your taxes, to pay in Nigeria now, and explain the e-tax annual returns that the LIRS launched recently, something that is confusing to me too.
Now, the new e-tax platform is an innovation that the Lagos State Internal Revenue Service had launched, I think 1st of October of 2019. And that's just to digitize our processes on tax administration, which includes filing of returns, taxpayer registration, assessments of those payers that have registered, payments, online payments, and then issues of instant receipting, online support, and obviously when you want to do objections of your tax assessments. Now, the easiest thing to do on that is to go onto the portal. You'll be able to register as an individual or a corporate entity using the N prefix as an individual. If you have your payer ID, all you need to do is do a reset of your password. Once you've reset your password, a generic password or a temporary password will be sent to the phone number and the email that you have on our database. and then you have a temporary password for which you then use to log in, and then you'll be asked to change your password after the first login. Once you've logged into that successfully, you've looked on the Returns tab on the left-hand side, and then you'll be able to complete a form which is called a Form A, which is the statutory Form A for filing of returns for the preceding year of assessment. And once you've done that, then you can say that you have successfully filed your returns.
Okay, sir. Going to basic, let's break down taxation, like the basics. What are the kind of, who is eligible to pay taxes? Let's not make assumption that everybody knows what your tax is about. Let's say, okay, who is eligible to pay what kind of tax? What are the basic taxes everybody should pay? And what is the annual tax return? So that's like 3 questions in one. But just let's start with who is eligible, who is supposed to pay tax, and what sort of tax are you supposed to pay, at what age and what stage. So let's try and break that down for people.
Now, every taxable persons, that means everybody in a paid employment or in self-employment, are entitled to file their returns statutorily. So that means anybody that is working either in pay as you earn or is working as a self-employed individual are taxable individuals, and they are expected to file their returns on or the 31st of March of every year. That's in the case of individuals. For corporate entities, they are supposed to have filed their returns at the end of 31st of March of every year as well. And those who are eligible to pay taxes are everybody that has earned an income, either by self-employment or either in a paid employment, or even when you have an income derived from foreign overseas or overseas, then you are entitled statutorily to pay income or to pay taxes on those income. And the form of taxes being paid is just income tax, because a lot of people misconstrued taxes and say that there's a double taxation. Now, we need to understand that there are 3 tiers of government. You have the federal government, you have the state government, and then you have the local government. And each of these type of government have the taxes they collect. Now, with the state government, which is the Internal Revenue Service, the only form of taxes we collect is your income tax. We collect development levies, we collect hotel consumption, business premises, and in some cases withholding taxes on some transactions like contracting and rents. So those are the only forms of taxes that is being collected by state government. You also will find out that maybe perhaps at the local government levels, the taxes they collect, they are not actually taxes. They're just levies for usable services which the local government is giving to them. Okay. And when you look at federal government, they collect taxes on like VAT, capital gains tax, petroleum tax, education tax, and what you have you. So they're just different levels of taxes collected by different levels of government. Okay. All
right, sir. So as I want to understand the process, so as a business person who just started, selling something, what's the process like? Are you supposed to go to the tax office to ask them to register your business, or you go with your CAC documents? Right now, when you register for CAC, you have a tax. Yeah, you have a team. You go with it, and then they set up an account for you where you pay the tax. Are they supposed to take it from your account, or you have to pay in? What's the process like for someone who just started a small business?
Yes, the process of registering for a tax entity or with the tax administration usually varies. If you're in self-employment and you don't have anybody that you're paying salaries at the end of the month, then you need not do anything until the following year, when you are by law statutorily supposed to file your returns. And on that note, it's the returns on your income that you need to file at the 31st of March of every year. So there's one that is currently going on now for self-employed individuals. Okay. Now, the other leg to that is that if you have people that are working with you and you're paying them salaries, then it is advisable that you walk into the nearest tax station next to you, register your business there, or you can actually even do it online on the e-tax platform, which is etax.lrs.net. All that will be required is your CAC form, and then you register your company. Once you've registered your company, you pay your staff salary, and on a monthly basis, you limit the taxes deducted from your employees. You can even do that online, or you can walk into the nearest tax station to do that.
Okay, Nima.
A lot of before reforms had happened before within Lagos, particularly for taxes. I remember that artisans were grouped to be paying their taxes by association. Is that still the position? And if it's been reviewed, what's now the way? Because when she mentioned small businesses, I remember you just talked about small businesses registered. We have tailors, welders, all of that, whose taxes were in the past reformed, and some way was designed for them to pay their taxes. Also, for businesses like you mentioned, within the first year, please clarify the eve of their 1 year registration is when they're due, or how is it calculated so that people listening.
Okay. Now, the first instance is that with the artisans, we have a new innovation, which the agency just launched at the 1st of November of 2020, which is called Ibile Hub. The Ibile initiative is an acronym for all the 5 divisions in Lagos State. And with that, we have a consultant employed by the agency who is on behalf of the agency relating with all the artisans and all the groups, all the market women, to collect taxes largely in the informal sector only. And we're doing that. We're speaking to the Olu-Ajayi, we're speaking to the NURTW to be able to administer all this tax and collect whatever monies that is due to government.
Oh, so please hold on.
Second aspect, sorry,
sir. Let me just get this clear. The Olu-Ajayi and NURTW, the funds they collect is remitted to the state government?
Not at present, but we're looking at a way where these funds will be remitted to the government.
They're working
not
on it.
At this present moment. Yes, we're just working on that, because if there are people out there collecting revenue, then those revenues should be due to the state government. So what we're doing is we're talking to them to ensure that we'll be able to get those funds into the state coffers.
Okay. So I mentioned artisan, it was deliberate. So I have the Fashion Designers Association of Lagos State sharing my office complex.
Yeah, and they pay.
They meet regularly. They talk about these issues when I, listen into their meeting, because they use microphones when they're meeting. And the way they talk about these taxes, sort of, I think it has covered, those operating within the state. If that's not the true position, please clarify. Do the people operating, because you see local government officers go to shops and lock them up, say they've not paid lock-up shops and all of that costs. What is the position exactly for artisans?
Can you answer that question in less than a minute, sir? Because we're done with this.
Okay, we need to make sure what kind of levies it is the local government are asking for. If you go to the Lagos State government's website, which is the LASG, and look at all the taxes remitted that is supposed to be collected by the internal revenue, the local government, you'll be able to see the types of taxes and the rates of levies that are being collected, so that individuals at the touch of a button would know what taxes or levies they're supposed to pay and at what rate they're supposed to pay.
All right,
so if any local government official comes to them, then they can tell them that this is actually what they're expected to pay and this is the rate that they're expected to pay. And obviously collect revenue receipts for whatever payments that are being made.
All right. Thank you so much, sir, for your time. We appreciate. We know that the government needs taxes and they need we to pay taxes. And I think that it will be easier for us as citizens to hold the government accountable when we are paying our taxes as well. So we will continue to always talk about taxes and encourage payment of taxes by citizens. That's all we can take on the segment. We'll go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll move on to another topic. Stay with us. We'll be right back.